Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of my brand new talk show, Life on the Upbeat.
Here we go!
Welcome to Life on the Upbeat, the show where the father sets the tempo and his children love to follow. I'm your host, Will Plyler, and today we're going to be talking about my 5 essentials for set list planning. In this video, we'll focus primarily on what it takes to plan a set list for your local church services on Sunday morning. However, I'll also throw in some tips that I use when planning for revivals, festivals, and other special events like that too. So for those of you who don't know me super well, my name is Will Plyler. I have been in music since middle school. I picked up the guitar, joined my youth band in middle school, and started leading that group before long, and led youth band all the way through middle school and high school. And then I got my bachelor's degree in music production from North Carolina Wesleyan College, where I was the campus worship leader and served in my local church in Rocky Mount, North Carolina for many, many years. And now for about the past year since I graduated college, I have been serving as the creative arts pastor for the Mount Olive campus of the Bridge Church in Wayne County, North Carolina. So without further ado, let's dive right into my 5 essentials for set list planning. Number 1, keep a working list of all your songs. One of the most helpful things that I have, especially for making church set lists, is our church keeps a running tab of all the songs that we play on a regular basis, and as well we categorize them into 3 categories. So here's a quick look at our master list of songs that we pull from at the Bridge. You can see that we have everything divided into 3 categories: fast, medium, and slow songs. And what I'll do for a service where we have 3 songs, for instance, is really I just go in here and I pull one of each. Occasionally I may vary from that just a little bit if there's a special service, or if we're going to have an extended worship time because of a communion or baptisms or something like that. But for the most part, it's really just pull one song from each category. Even if you're not playing music on a regular basis in church, but you're doing other things like festivals, or you've got a band that plays any kind of gigs really, I think it's really helpful to keep a list of all the songs that you guys do on a regular basis and that you do them well. And if you don't want to, you can categorize them by other things. You can categorize it by genre or topic or whatever. But as you make your set list, make sure you have a good mix of different things. However you set your different categories for the songs that your group does well, just have a good mix. If you've got a band and you guys play 3 different genres, we play country, rock, and blues, let's just say you categorize your songs by that, then make sure a 10-song set list has a good mix of at least 3 of each, just so people can get an idea of the range of stuff that your band can do, get an idea for what all you guys are really good at. My second essential for set list planning is know your audience. Whether you're leading worship for a church service, or you're playing a festival, or whatever, you need to spend some time thinking about and getting to know the people that are going to be listening. Depending upon who those people are and what your goal is, it's going to shape what songs you choose to play. For instance, my brother, Drew, is the worship leader for the Red Team with Life Action Ministries, and they travel and do revivals all over the country. And he was telling me the other day that he spends time calling the leadership of each church that they go into and finding out kind of what their typical Sundays look like. This is especially important if you're going to somewhere that you don't play on a regular basis. But like if you're going into a church that sings out of the hymnal every week, then you probably don't want to make a set list full of Crowder and Phil Wickham and Hillsong and stuff like that, because they're not going to know it. They're not going to be able to sing along with you and connect with you in a real way. At the very least, you're going to at least want to pick some songs that maybe some songs that have an extra hymn mixed into it, like I think of Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone, or Cornerstone, things like that. On the other hand, if you're going to a church, they're playing all the latest Hillsong and Bethel Elevation songs every Sunday, then you might not want to go in playing Open the Eyes of My Heart and Come Now is the Time to Worship. Just think about what songs are going to minister to the people that you're going to be playing for. On the flip side of that, if you're playing a festival, concert outside of church, you also want to think about your audience there. For instance, I'm playing at a festival here in Wayne County in 2 weeks, and the festival is not put on by a church. It's a outside of the church organization, which is not a bad thing. But for me, that means that I know that there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of people who are there that aren't church, right? Or at the very least are not going to recognize a lot of the songs that I play if I play nothing but praise music the whole time. So I may choose to look at the songs that I know really well and pick a couple secular songs. Play some things outside of my normal church wheelhouse because I want to give them a reason to listen to. At the end of the day, the goal of everything we do is the gospel, right? Is helping people come into a deeper relationship with God. But for somebody who doesn't care about church music or who doesn't care about the Lord, if I go up and play praise music the whole time, they don't really have a reason to listen. But if I play a couple songs that they know and they hear me do something they know really, really well, then they're going to be a lot more willing to listen to what I have to say when I talk about stuff that they're not necessarily interested in. My third essential for setlist planning is know your leadership. And this applies particularly to Sunday morning worship setlist planning. Whether you're a full-time pastor like myself or you're the head of a volunteer team, whatever the case may be, if you are the one in charge of making the set lists for your local church on Sundays, then it's imperative that you stay in close connection with the pastor of your church. So, for instance, for me, my campus pastor, Andrew, and I meet once a week, and he lets me know what he's going to be preaching on that week and kind of his vision for the service that week. And then I usually have a template, an idea of a set list already in place, but I also need to be ready to make changes. If he feels like he's going to need an extended altar call because he's ending his sermon on a really heavy topic, then I need to be ready to follow his leadership and make plans to be ready for that. Topically, I like to get a manuscript or at least a rough outline of his sermon before Sunday morning, just because it gives me an idea of, okay, this is thematically, this is spiritually where he's headed. This is what he wants to cover today. And that way I can just be, I can be in tune with that. I can tailor what scriptures I might read during worship or the things I might say or do to kind of make sure that the congregation is preparing their hearts to move in that direction, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what worship is for. We're preparing our hearts for God to do a move amongst us. And that's usually through the preaching of his word, right? On the flip side, if you're playing outside of your normal church, if you're playing at another church event like a revival or something, then I think a lot of these rules still apply. You might not be able to do that quite as much as you would like to if it's a speaker that you don't necessarily have a connection with or have an opportunity to speak with them with, then I would just refer to number 2, right? You do everything you can to know about the venue, know about the church, or locate the people that you're going to be playing for, and do your best to tailor the worship to them and let God do the rest. And then if you're playing a festival or you're playing some other kind of special event, again, talk with people who ask you to come. Make sure that you have an idea of what their vision is, how long they want you to play, how many songs. The last thing you want to do is to go too far under or too far over their expectations. So like if this, again, for instance, this festival I'm getting ready to do, they want us to play for an hour. So it would really be kind of stinky if I only played for 45 minutes or if I played for 2 hours, But if I don't talk with them beforehand, then I won't know that. So just be in communication with the people that you're under when you're planning your set list. My fourth essential for set list planning is prayer. And that's probably the most important thing, is at the end of the day, all this other stuff doesn't matter if you're not being led by the Holy Spirit as you make plans. And I think that's true whether you're playing or you're playing at church, or you're doing a festival or a revival or whatever. Because at the end of the day, this is what we're in this for, right? We're in music to glorify the Lord through helping bring other people closer to Him. And that's going to look different in each setting, as we've already talked about. But at the end of the day, it's really good to pray and to ask God, okay, what do you want to say through me? What do you want to use me to say to the people that are going to be listening to me play music at this upcoming event, whatever it is? I think it's also important, if you have a chance, if you're playing in church and you've had an opportunity to get the scripture passages that your pastor is going to be speaking on, if you have an opportunity to, go over those. Maybe just kind of look at them. Especially if you're not familiar with it, pray over those and just ask the Lord to guide you. And my fifth and final essential for set list planning is don't overthink it. There are so many different moving parts to a Sunday morning church or a festival or whatever you're playing in, and stuff's going to go wrong. Stuff's going to happen all the time. That's going to be outside of your control. And so just do your best with what you have, and it's going to be what it's going to be. So if something doesn't go particularly right, don't take it personally. Brush it off. Just keep going and doing your best. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're going to be doing a lot more talk episodes like this, as well as I got some new music projects coming soon, so you're going to want to check those out. Comment below, are there other essentials to set list planning that you think are really important that I may have missed? Leave me a comment, let me know. Or also let me know what other topics you might like to hear me talk about on our next episode of Life on the Upbeat. See you guys next time.